Hey everybody, welcome to the DW Plays video. This time I'm taking a look at, as you can see here, Probotector for the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. This is just the European or PAL version of Operation C, or Contra, depending on which region you're in there. Contra in Japan and Operation C in North America. But this is the European version. It is the exact same game, but with different graphics, because much like with the original Contra and Probotector 2, as it was known, as well as Probotector on the Mega Drive versus Contra Hardcore on the Mega Drive, which, of course, came out after this. The European audience apparently just can't handle violence with vaguely human sprites. Even though it's very cartoony, in this case it's clearly in black and white, there is no blood and gore at all. It's very, very tame violence, but apparently whoever localized this thought that the European audience just couldn't handle it anyway, so they censored it by making all of the characters robots instead of people. Does it make it any less violent? No, not really. But, welcome to weird things with Europe in gaming during the 90s and the late 80s. There was a lot more regional variance back then, because the, like I said, they thought that Europeans just could not handle the violence, so they censored the living crap out of everything. And that goes for the Contra series, it goes for Castlevania. There's Castlevania The New Generation, as opposed to Castlevania Bloodlines. They had to even censor the title, because in European versions of things, you just couldn't have the word blood in the title, which was incredibly stupid. Because, I mean, in the case of Castlevania Bloodlines, that's literally just a reference to lineage, just family lineage. It has nothing to do with blood and gore. And of course they censored the zombies, so they're not green in the European version. They are pink, which is worse, honestly. It's a mess. I might do a video on that eventually, but this is just the European version, and of course I screwed that up. So now we're back to the basic gun, which is really annoying. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I am not good at the Contra games. As you can see, I never have been good at them because I never played them back in the day. Okay. And, so, I do what I can with what I got here, but there's only so much I can do with what I got. But, regardless, I mean, if you were looking for Contra on the go, this certainly fits the bill. I mean, it is a perfectly solid recreation of Contra for the handheld. They did a really good job with it. It's just that the, it's just that, well, I mean, I'm not very good at it, for one. And I just messed that up really badly. Well, there you have it. Game over already. Yeah, I'm not good at Contra. You die in one hit. It's pretty brutal. It's kind of a standard thing for the era, though. Arcade games were like that. And that spilled over into the Contra games as well, whether it be the original ones on the NES or the ones on the Game Boy, as you can see here, or of course Contra Hardcore or Probotector on the Mega Drive. Except that the Japanese versions are usually easier. They're usually more forgiving, which is weird to think about, but especially in the case of something like Contra Hardcore, where in the Japanese version you got 3 hit points before you went down in that, as opposed to in the European and North American versions where you just went down in 1 hit. So, it's not really the case with this one. This one's more or less the same exact game across all different regions. It's just that Probotector in particular has different graphics because they decided to censor it for the European audience. That's ultimately why I decided to take a look at this in a DW Plays format rather than taking a look at it in its own individual video. I'll probably still cover this if I ever do a review or MTO of Operation C or Contra for the Game Boy. But it'll just be a mention rather than its own standalone thing. DW Plays is more for taking a look at things that I wouldn't really look at in a full review or MTO in any significant amount, let's put it that way. Because, I mean, let's face it, again, Probotector and the other versions of Probotector, which, regardless of which console you're playing it on, are all the same as the North American and lesser extent the Japanese versions. It's just that they changed out all the graphics because they felt the need to censor them. At any rate, I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in later videos.